Hello everyone, welcome back to Tartan Samurai Gaming. And it's a viewer request today. We are playing Maximum Carnage featuring Spider-Man and Venom for the Mega Drive. Good game, this one. Very closely follows the comic book of the same name. And a very memorable theme tune by the band Green Jelly, as you've seen there in the opening credits. There's our heroes, Spider-Man and Venom, and there's the main villain, Carnage. If we just watch for a minute, we'll get a peek of the rest of the cast. So we got Black Cat, Cloak, and of course he's joined by Dagger, his partner. Morbius, thankfully not played by Jared Leto. Firestar, Captain America, one of my favourites, Iron Fist, his Netflix show wasn't that bad, Deathlock, don't know much about him, I'll be honest, Shriek, Carnage's would-be girlfriend, Doppelganger, a monstrous clone of Spider-Man, Demogoblin, who is like the Hobgoblin but slightly scarier, Carrion, who is a sort of a zombie type enemy, I think. Anyway, with the intro out of the way, let's get into it. So we open up at the maximum security criminally insane asylum that is Ravencroft, and our man of the hour there is Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage. And these are panels lifted straight from the comic book, so it's really nice to see that. This is where Cassidy reveals his true nature as the symbiote Carnage. He's basically the Joker, but with all the powers of Venom and Spider-Man combined. So, yeah, the ultimate insanity, as he calls himself. So, with Carnage on the loose, this scene was kind of recreated in the There Be Carnage movie, the second Venom movie, where Carnage goes on the rampage and basically tears through the prison that he's being held in, but the movie obviously toned it down quite a bit from the comic because the movie was PG-13, whereas the comic didn't have any such limitations. And in what was a bit of a change from the comic, it was implied that Shriek and Carnage had been like lifelong lovers, whereas in the comic book, I believe this is the first time they meet. And she isn't this kind of a sympathetic character that she was in the film. She is just a straight up psychotic criminal teaming up with another psychotic criminal. Quite a bit of exposition here, so bear with me. And here's our third antagonist, the Doppelganger. There's a very long convoluted story about how he was created, but we won't go into it. He's basically a six-armed, super powerful clone of Spider-Man, but with the intellect of a feral animal. And meanwhile, Spider-Man is having an existential crisis, as usual, because he won't do what's necessary to put the enemies away for good, and nor should he. That's why he's Spider-Man. That's why he's a hero. Anyway, into the first level. So as you'll notice right away, stylistically this is quite similar to Streets of Rage 2, but the graphics are bigger and bolder, because it was a couple of years after Streets of Rage 2, so they couldn't just straight up clone that game. They had to advance the genre a little, and they tried to do that. Also, you know, mixing in the fact that you are playing as Spider-Man, you can use web attacks like so. and power hits, which will take out most enemies in a single strike. And you can also climb the walls and web swing. But sometimes it's easier to just pick the enemies up and throw them. And projectiles in this game are a lot more powerful than they are in Streets of Rage. You throw a box or something at an enemy and it will most likely drain most of their energy away. You notice my energy bar is flashing, which means I will shortly be able to do a critical hit. But yeah, like so. What you can do is if you stand away from the enemies and rapidly tap the attack button, you can actually sort of charge down the critical attack if you don't want to waste it on a regular bad guy and you want to maybe save it up for a boss or whatever. Again, like most first levels, this is just about getting used to the controls and getting a feel for how the game works, etc. Again, much like Streets of Rage, you want to try and keep all the enemies in front of you as much as you can, because they will try and wriggle behind you and cause damage, so don't give them the chance. Now, the reason I was web swinging there is because I do remember there are some power-ups along the top of the walls here, but I can't remember exactly where, so I'm checking as I go. There we are. There's the extra life that I remembered. Now, there is a power up there, but I'm gonna save that until we get rid of these enemies. The health is, you know, we're still at about 50%, so I think we're okay for another couple of hits before we have to... I will just take that anyway, but there's another one there which we can use in a minute. Oops, I accidentally collected the power up there, but that's alright, we're still at full health anyway. We want to save that stack of newspapers for the boss, which is coming up now. And there's actually two of them, so... Now, if we're lucky, in a moment we should get a chance to do a critical hit, because we could have done one a minute ago, but I powered it down deliberately. I say should, I don't know if we're going to, the way this is going. Tricky bosses in this game, even in the first level. This was definitely one of those games where the difficulty was inflated to the point so that you couldn't clear it on a weekend, because, you know, I was one of those people. I rented this game from Blockbuster Video back in the day, and I cleared it over the course of a weekend. Not that you would know that looking at how I'm playing here, but, you know. Yeah, it's a lot of the Mega Drive games from about 1993 to about, well, up until the end of the console's lifetime, about 96, 97. A lot of the games did seem to be harder than they needed to be, and that was purely because too many people were renting them instead of buying them and then beating them in a 3-day span. Then of course when the PlayStation came along, they realised that, you know, it was easier just to have games that lasted longer. And here's our first secret room, which I got into by basically doing a dropping jump kick there, at that window. This should allow us some extra life and extra health. And this background is actually modelled on the Fantastic Four lab, which we will encounter later in the game. Sorry, spoiler alert. Again, that beat 'em up trope of fighting a boss again, but this time as a regular character. So we got some extra lives there, that was useful. And now back onto the main level itself, the climb. The idea here is to follow the arrows and make sure you don't get hit by Shriek's lightning strikes, which she is firing from above. And we'll also encounter Doppelganger in a minute as well. Yep, there he is. You want to keep out of his way. The rooftop. This is where we encounter Shriek and Doppelganger for the first time. But what we want to do, instead of engaging with Doppelganger directly, we want to try and break down this water tower here. Because underneath it is a continue, and also, if you drop it on Doppelganger, you take him out in one hit. But Shriek is there to knock us off the roof, because plot contrivance. And now Carnage is paying a visit to our favourite newspaper editor, J. Jonah Jameson. He wants to use Jameson's media empire to try and draw out Venom. Gotta say, I really like what they did with Jameson in the movies. The idea of turning him into this sort of a crazy internet conspiracy theory show host was genius. It really it was a great way to update the character but still keep him at his ranting and raving best. Now we move on to Spider-Man's side of the story. He's in an alleyway, he's surrounded by thugs, and well, we know what's going to happen. Nice little graphic there of Spider-Man falling off the roof. Doing okay here though, having 6 lives at this point is alright. That secret room definitely helped matters. On. Always nice when you can take out 2 enemies with a single strike. And there's a double smash. Again, that's a very satisfying move to pull off, and it gave us some health at just the right time. These female enemies have an annoying habit of just blocking all your attacks, so you really have to get up close and just not give them any space to breathe. Hansa, isn't that the name of a German football team? Anyway, I digress. Sorry, soccer team if you're watching from the US, and I know quite a few of you are, so thank you for that. Hope you can follow my Scottish accent okay. If you can't, don't worry, I will be adding subtitles at a later date. Hope you'll stick with me in the meantime. Power hit there. Would have rather saved it for this enemy, but well, sometimes you can't really control when it's unleashed. You can try to chamber it, but it's not always possible. Okay, onward. We are almost at the end of the level here. Oh, we got another power hit. That's good. More enemies, and we'll be ready to take on the boss of sorts in this level. But first, jump up here, grab yourself an extra continue, because in this game, we are going to need them. And it's boss time. Well, there's an extra life for our efforts. And what happens with this is it's an escalating battle, and one that ultimately you're not actually supposed to win. So, if we take out 1, 2 appear, we take out 2, 4 appear, and it just escalates until you run out of health, basically. But you do get bonuses for each round that you last, so let's hopefully try and go a wee bit further if we can. But I don't know though, because they're sneaking in plenty of damage here. Yeah, that's alright. We got an extra life out of it, I'm happy with that. Cloak and Dagger come to the rescue. And that church that we were fighting outside is actually their sanctuary. That's where they hang out. And Spider-Man's in a bit of a bad way. And it's about to get worse, because Spider-Man cannot get a minute's peace. See that the stained glass window there, the circular stained glass window, that was directly referenced in the Let There Be Carnage movie. You see there's a scene where Carnage takes on a posture very similar to the doppelganger there, right in front of a stained glass window in the church, which kind of sets the scene for the conclusion of the film. You know, that film had its flaws, but I enjoyed it, and Woody Harrelson as Carnage, that's perfect casting in my opinion. Just especially when you look at that opening comic book panel, you can just see, yeah, that's Woody Harrelson, obviously. Oh, and in comes Carnage. And Dagger stood in front of us and took what looked like it could have been a fatal blow. But more on that later. Meanwhile, Venom is in San Francisco, and he's not happy. Yeah, Venom is out looking for a fight. So, yeah, for those who don't know, Venom is basically a symbiote life form, so it bonds with Eddie Brock, and they are essentially two people living as one. And right now, all they can think about is going after Carnage. Now, at this point, we have to choose our character. Apologies for the momentary interruption there. I made a save state because I'm going to continue as Venom, but I will give you the option of watching the Spider-Man playthrough at a later time. So we're going to go with Venom for now, but I will do the Spider-Man part later on to let you see the full game. Venom handles slightly differently to Spider-Man. He's obviously more powerful, but slightly slower. And he has some slightly longer reach on some of his attacks as well. Particularly his jump kick, which reaches a lot further than Spider-Man. I'm not exactly sure why, but I find Venom a lot easier to use when you're fighting the bosses. It just seems to take them down more quickly than Spider-Man does. Particularly some of the later bosses in this game do require a lot of jump kicking, and that's something where, as I said, Venom is more powerful and has greater reach than Spider-Man, so... Look up here, no. Venom's getting a bit of a kicking here, we're going to have to be careful. Well, we've lost our first life, but that's alright because there's a secret room coming up in a minute, which we'll be able to use to hopefully get it back and then some. What you do is take out this enemy first of all, and his friends. Now we just stand in front of this ATM, and then do our special move. And that triggers the secret room. And we're back in the Fantastic Four lab again. Oops, threw that the wrong way there. Not to worry. Oh, there's an extra life, so we've got back that life that we lost. Another extra life. Excellent. And what do you know? There's another one. Brilliant. Sets us up nicely. The enemies definitely do more damage as you progress through the game. These guys are hitting a lot harder than they did on the first couple of levels. Use a special attack there just to clear the decks. Yep, I remember there was a power-up up there. Giggsy. I guess somebody was a Manchester United fan who worked on this game. And it's boss time. And it's the same boss we fought on the last level, but this time we get to fight to a finish. Nice little power hit there. I think it actually took the other guy out, so I think we're just down to one enemy now, which is handy. And once their bars turn red, it really is just a matter of time. Of course, don't let them get any cheap hits on you before you manage to finally take them down. Yep, he's going to take a big leap, and it's going to get him nowhere. Haha. Meanwhile, in New York, Carnage is at it again, attacking innocent people. Bad boy. Carnage, even in the 90s, that kind of pun wouldn't fly. Come on. And we're in Central Park, where Venom, ironically, might not be the scariest thing around. There's Carnage just sitting back and watching the action. key here is to try and keep moving as much as you can, because these enemies will almost certainly try to attack you. One will go after you while you're hitting the other one. That's how they operate. Having Carnage laughing at you the whole time can get slightly irritating. Oh yeah, you couldn't have triggered that cutscene a split second earlier before I lost a life, huh? Oh dear, video games. Mary Jane looking lovely there, and Venom not looking so lovely. This was the thing, Venom and Spider-Man were traditionally enemies, but they put their differences aside at this point because they realised that they had to deal with a mutual threat. And now Demo Goblin has joined the hunt, and we've got Black Cat to come and help. Of course, Black Cat and Spider-Man have a bit of a history. And we will continue on with Venom. Perhaps as a sign of how much stronger the enemies are in this level, that crate that I threw at him there didn't even drain his energy in full, which the first couple of levels that wipes out pretty much any villain you hit it with, so... Apart from fighting the bosses, which can occasionally get frustrating, this game never really feels unfair though. It's difficult. I mean, it is a difficult game, but it's not unfairly so, I wouldn't say. What we do here is we just hover over and we get our extra life. Lovely. Yeah, could have done with hitting that target. Again, that trope of bosses coming back as regular villains. Ah, and there's a power-up, just what we needed, just when we needed it. Lovely. I have to be careful with these chubby bald fellows because they can pack a punch. Those little billy clubs or whatever it is they're carrying are quite damaging. Okay, moving forward. Again, where possible, try and throw weaker enemies into stronger enemies to save you having to fight the stronger enemies too much. Good thing about Venom's power hit is that it's a ground pound, so it does damage pretty much all over the screen. So it will damage anybody who's in the vicinity. Whereas Spider-Man's being a roundhouse kick is much more just kind of whoever's directly in front of or behind him. Boss time. Let's see if we can line this up right. No. Let's trying to line up here as a double strike. There we go. That was it. And Spider-Man has just about reached the end of his tether. He's had enough of Carnage and his craziness. And there's Morbius putting in an appearance. Uneasy alliances being formed all across the hero spectrum here, because Morbius was also another sort of anti-hero character who didn't always see eye to eye with Spider-Man. So now we're going to the deep. Not the boys character, the nightclub. And a quick little tip, if we go over here, we'll get an extra life. If you're caught between two enemies, just use your special attack. You will lose a bit of health, but it's worth it just to clear the decks. Oh, and this guy now has some sort of cane gun, which we have to watch out for. There we go. On towards the boss now. And we do have some superhero backups that we can use later on if need be. But first I'm going to see how I can go on without them. Again, that long-reaching jump kick which Venom has makes fighting Demogoblin a whole lot easier than if you're Spider-Man. But you know what? I'm just going to call in Black Cat's help here. And again. This time we'll go with Cloak. See how much damage he's done. Right, Doppelganger's down. And so is Demogoblin. Now it's just Shriek. Now the thing is with Shriek, do not try and land a full combo. Land a couple of hits then get out, because she'll always use that lightning strike as a combo breaker. Like so. Okay, level clear. And we came through relatively unscathed, so I'm quite happy with that. Heroes are genuinely worried. Will they be able to stop Carnage and the chaos that he is bringing with him? And Venom feels a bit of guilt here because Carnage was essentially his kid. It was an offspring of the symbiote. So, the plan is to recruit Firestar and to get the Fantastic Four's sonar weapon. Ah, and it turns out Dagger is not gone, she was just wounded. Now we're at the Fantastic Four HQ, but unfortunately no Fantastic Four this time. And so Venom is going to go one way while Spider-Man goes the other. Okay, let's get back to it. Apologies there, I just had to adjust my headphones. So we will have another secret level in the next chapter after this, which is the second part of the Fantastic Four headquarters. But for the time being, we're just going to have to punch through these drones. Not exactly the most original enemy design, but hey, we'll let them away with it, since this is a very good game regardless. And there's another continue. That's nice. And these drones are the absolute masters of that thing I keep talking about in beat-em-ups, where as you're fighting one or two characters, the third one sneaks behind you and tries to grab a quick hit. Not to worry, we're almost clear of this level now. Once you're fighting the Mark IIIs, that means that you're getting near the end. And we're clear. Now on to the next part, Fantastic Four Lab, where, if I get my timing right, we should have a secret room. There we go. So the key there was just do just a straight jump kick at that point, at that precise point in front of that steel beam, and it will activate the secret room for you. Extra life, another extra life, and a couple of daggers. Those will come in handy later. Another couple of daggers, full health power-ups, and back to business. So you've got to watch out here, there's these sort of, yeah, there's this boss, and what you have to do is a couple of punches and then jump before he does his drop attack like that. And do not let him land on you, because that's what will happen. You can also do this, just repeatedly jump on his head, but it takes a long time to actually grind down his energy bar. Ah, there we go, he's already red, so we're halfway there. I'm just going to smack him while I've got those invincibility frames. Oh dear, that doesn't seem very fair. But you know what, I don't care, that's him down. Now it's time to go find Carnage. And Firestar has joined the party. And they're paying Jameson a visit, and naturally he is not very pleased to see Spider-Man. Carnage. I mean, you know, international crime is one thing, but stealing a guy's newspaper, that is just low. Now this is a sort of a mini boss rush here, so you're going to want these extra power-ups here. Get some help from Black Cat. Right, Doppelganger's out. And so is Demogoblin. You can't let Carrion grab onto your head, because if he does, he'll just drain your life force. That's his sort of special power. He kind of feeds off of life energy. And I completely wasted that Black Cat attack there. Now let's have Dagger come in and use her attack. Well, that kind of helped, I think. I'm saving Spider-Man for a special occasion, which you will see momentarily. Down. Now, use Firestar. She will pretty much take out Carnage for us. Now we just got Carrion to worry about. And that takes care of him. Yeah, accuracy wasn't great there, but we got the job done. And let's have another go at Prospect Park here. Hopefully we can figure it out this time. Quite a frustrating level, this really is. It's just it's the concentration of enemies, the lack of bonuses and power-ups, everything just sort of... It's basically to try and bait you into using all of your assists before you actually hit the levels where you really need to use them. But we're not going to fall for that. Instead, we are going to use these as they were intended. Oh dear, I missed that power up. That was unfortunate. The scarcity of power-ups in this level, I really could have done with that, but taking him down in one hit is a bonus. Alright. Next screen here, I think, is our... Oh, no, it's not yet. There is a power-up to be had momentarily, but... yeah, it's up here. There we go. Just what the doctor ordered. In you come, Black Cat. Thank you. Thank you, Spider-Man. And we'll use Spider-Man again. I think these two might be the last ones that we face. I know there's these guys as well who I forgot about. There, level cleared. We had to use a lot to get through it, but you know what? It was worth it. That's the biggest hurdle to finishing the game cleared, in my opinion. Deathlock is a kind of a Terminator-style character. Again, I don't know his backstory at all. I think he was in that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show that nobody really watched. Well, I didn't anyway. Say nobody really watched it, didn't that last like 7 or 8 seasons or something? I think it was just never on TV where I was at the time. Oh dear. But that's okay. Plenty of continues. Deathlocks again, if we can. Actually, let's just use a dagger here to clear some space for us while we go collecting. Quite a few things up there, actually. There we go. Shriek seems to be stunned. Oh well, that's good. She can just stay there while we take care of Doppelganger. Funny how much easier these bosses are when you can just fight them one-on-one. Goblin is almost down, but now Shriek's back in play as well. Well, we can't have it all, I suppose. Oh, there's Carnage to knock us out. Firestar has the chance to take down Carnage permanently, but that's just not her kind of thing. She doesn't have the... She's not going to do it. And Venom is not best pleased. And this is where Spider-Man and Venom sadly fall out. Meanwhile, Carnage has plans for Venom. But luckily we have plans for him too. Time has come to choose once again. So we're gonna go with Venom again. Venom is being held captive here, but if we hit the buttons quickly enough, we can perhaps encourage his costume to free us. Yep. Venom has managed to resist Carnage's sonic gun and fire, and he's back. And this was actually a secret level of sorts that was on the box of the game itself, but for years people didn't know how to access it, and that was the key. You had to break Carnage's hold over you early. If we hadn't done that there, we would have had to wait another 2 or 3 cutscenes in order to get it, but since we did it now, we are clear. And it's really just a series of enemies to take down. You know, these guys carry pistols, so you want to take them out quickly before they can get a shot off, ideally. Oh, there's some more Deathlock power-ups. Those are useful. But yeah, there is one more secret level that you can access with Venom, and we'll do that later. And of course, Dagger is back. She was never out of the game permanently, she just took some damage. And this is where you will face a lot of the enemies in the game for the final time. Oh, there's Iron Fist's power-up to help us, but we'll deal with that in a moment. And you can use all your assists at this point, because after this, it's you know, final level time where you can't actually use your assists anyway, so you're better off just using them here, where they'll be more effective. Well, they'll be effective, as opposed to being completely inaccessible. So let's see what Iron Fist does for us. Oh, he takes out everybody with a nice flying kick. I don't think his Netflix show was that bad, you know. Not the greatest, but it's entertaining fun for what it was. Let's use Dagger here to help us clear the debris. But of course there is yet more, because Venom's work is never done. Until we clear the game, of course. As I mentioned before about those pistol carrying enemies there, they can be a trouble. Extra life, that's nice. And now it's boss rush time. So Doppelganger and Shriek first of all. Let's have Deathlock here. He is pretty useful for causing a lot of damage. Doppelganger is down. He is out. And now it's time to try and take down Shriek as well. But easier said than done. I'm just going to call in Deathlock. Because like I said, we are as well to use these power-ups now because we won't get a chance to later. So, and Demogoblin's down, and so is Shriek. Which leaves just Carrion. Carnage. Carnage has deserted his allies, so it's just Carrion now, and he's actually the easiest one of the lot to take out. Just keep jump kicking and don't let him grab your head. There we go, and he's gone too. And the level is clear. Ah, the end. Somehow I don't think so. So they believe Carnage is defeated. Oh, we're getting the end credits, so I guess maybe he is. But then again, maybe he isn't. Nice little deceptive move there. And now we have no means to use our team attacks or our assists, so it is just us against Carnage. As you can see, he packs quite a punch. So do we, because we are Spider-Man. And when Spider-Man gets taken out, Venom joins the fight. But even then, I don't think one life will be enough to take Carnage out on this turn, so probably going to have to use a continue, but that's okay. If I get through this game having only used 2 or 3 continues, I'll be quite happy with that, considering how difficult it is. That's alright. And here we go again. And yes, we know you're gonna roll the credits, but it's not really the credits, right? Get on with it. That spinning axe attack that Carnage does is absolutely lethal, so just get right out the way when he starts that, he said as he got smacked with it. Venom should have enough to get the job done, hopefully. Well, not now, thanks to that. Well, there we go. Mission cleared. And now we have the true final level, the ruined boys' home. Dear, I'm getting absolutely battered here. Yeah. And let's continue. So with this truly is the last boss. We just want to take down Carnage and we can clear out the game. But first, one more secret room. What we had to do there was stand in the doorway and let Carnage hit us directly. And lots of help here, thankfully, because we need it. It's also a good last chance to smack down some of these enemies as well. Extra life, which will prove very handy for the final battle with Carnage. Is there anything up here? No, there isn't. Okay. Now, back to the final level. With 5 lives, there really is no excuse if we don't get this done right. Let's say when Carnage does that spinning axe attack, just get out the way, because you can't block it, you can't counter it, you can't do anything really. Use your shoulder charge to try and get in close and rattle off a combo before he hits you. But accept that you are going to take damage, you're going to lose lives. It's the last boss. It's not supposed to be easy, and this is not an easy game, so it is what it is. Anyway, we've already got him into red, so that's a good sign. Oh, we almost got a power hit off there. Sneaky little one, this Carnage. Of course, St. Estes, the boys' home where Carnage grew up, was reconstituted into a school for girls and boys in the movie, because that was where he met Shriek, and that's where the movie ends as well. Yeah. That's alright, because enter Venom, and hopefully Venom has enough in the tank to, I was going to say get the job done, but oh dear. easy boss, and it's, you know, like I said, we just gotta go with it. Oh, come on now, you're just being obnoxious now. Right, we still got 2 continues, so it's not over yet. Let's do it. What we want to do is lead with a jump kick if we can get it off, and then good damage. I'll take that. That's okay for 1 life. Carnage is just so damn fast that you can't get very little maneuverability here. I'm going to switch out for Venom just to give me that little extra oomph. Oh, he's turned red already. Right, that's good. That's promising. Yeah, jump kicks seem to do pretty good damage on him, if we can land enough of them. Easier said than done, though. Spider-Man back in here. Rather than having special attacks that you can call in, the last level allows you to switch between Spider-Man and Venom at will by pressing the assist button. We've almost got him. He's down, and the game is clear. And the Avengers show up to take Carnage away, which begs the question, where were they throughout the entirety of that game? Put that down to plot contrivance. Oh, be careful with this Joker. I see what you did there, Spider-Man. It wasn't very subtle. So Vision assures them that they have a stasis container, so if Carnage isn't going anywhere, nah, he'll be back. Of course he'll be back. It's comic books. Nobody ever stays truly defeated in comic books, hero or villain. Unless they're really, really unpopular. Hopeful sentiment, Spider-Man, but is it the end? Somehow I don't think so. And as these credits roll, I would say thank you once again for joining us here on Tartan Samurai Gaming. This has been a challenging one. This is definitely one of the more difficult games that I have tackled so far. But as always, it was a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please be sure to check out our other retro playthroughs here on the channel. We have a ever-growing selection. And of course the Carnage laugh lets you know that he will be back. Until next time everybody, thank you for watching Tartan Samurai Gaming, and I'll see you next time.